Hi guys, and welcome back to our FIFA 20 Sunderland Road to Glory career mode. Now, if you did not manage to watch the last episode, I highly recommend that you do, because today's episode is going to contain massive spoilers, of course, if you haven't seen the last episode. But today is going to be a bit more of a chilled one, as it is the season review of the season we have just gone through in the Championship. So of course we're going to go through all the stats and statistics, we're going to go through all the ratings in terms of how much our players have improved from the beginning of the season, and then we're going to end the episode off by skipping forward to next season, seeing our transfer budget, see how much we're going to have to play with, and then you guys are going to leave your comments and suggestions for players to buy, because remember, every single player that I've bought and I buy in my series, all from your guys' suggestions, so it pretty much just leaves the heat off me, so you can't moan at me saying, oh, why did you buy him? It was your guys' suggestions. So, yes, today is a bit more of a chilled one. The last episode, if you haven't seen it, again, go back and watch it, but that was probably the closest I've ever had well, the closest I've been to having a heart attack, because it was just absolute insanity. But let's get into the review of the season. So we'll start off with the obvious, and it is the ending of the league table. So Aston Villa won the Championship season with 125 points, losing just 3 games out of their 46. Burnley had 113 points, and Stoke slipped just away from that 1 point. How gutted would you be if you got 112 points in a season and didn't get promoted, which is absolutely insane. And of course, I presume that if you hadn't watched last episode, you've gone back and watched it by now with the amount of heads up that I've given you. It was obviously us that ended up winning the playoff final against Stoke, so they must be absolutely heartbroken. West Brom did finish in 5th, Leeds in 6th as well. We have Norwich in 7th, then we have Norwich and then Norwich. We have Nottingham Forest in 7th, and Norwich in 8th, then Brentford, Preston, Sheff Wednesday, Bristol City, Middlesbrough, Swansea, Reading, Derby County, QPR, Birmingham, Wigan, Blackburn, Ipswich, and the bottom 3 we have Millwall, Hull, and Rotherham. Rotherham winning just 1 game all season. What a depressing season for Rotherham, and they shall be returning to League One. Let's have a look at the FA Cup and see who won that. It was Liverpool. Liverpool did beat Wolves by 2-0. And in the Carabao Cup, Liverpool again, with plenty of silverware, beating Chelsea by 3-0. Liverpool with an absolutely astonishing season. And the UEFA Super Cup was won by Manchester City, as they did beat Leverkusen by 2-0. And as for the Champions League, it was Atletico Madrid, and they beat Spurs by 2-1. That's another Champions League final defeat for Spurs. And the Europa League was won by Lyon. Chelsea losing in a final yet again, 2-1 to Lyon. So I think it would be quite interesting to have a look at the Premier League to see what happened there. Liverpool finished in 2nd, Manchester City finishing on a whopping 110 points, going undefeated all season, Manchester City. Liverpool only losing the 1 game as well. So let's have a quick scroll through, see if there's anything notable. Manchester United finishing outside the top 4, as well as Arsenal as well. Let's see who got relegated. Who's going to be going down? We have Fulham, Huddersfield and Cardiff all going down. What a terrible season that is for Cardiff as well. Again, very similar to Rotherham in the Championship, only winning 1 game, but 7 points, which is an absolutely disastrous season. Huddersfield not too much better, only on 11. Fulham on 14, and Sheffield United managing to squeeze out of there on 23 points. But now we'll have a look at the stats of the season, top goal scorers and what have you. So the top goal scorer was Patterson for Stoke, and Powell for Stoke as well. Powell getting 26 goals and Patterson with 29, which is absolutely mad. That is crazy. Wesley from Aston Villa getting himself 25 goals. Aston Villa, another one. Trezeguet, who was a nightmare to play against when we did play him, with 24 goals as well. Puskás from Reading with 22. And there is our boy. 21 goals for Troy Parrott in 33 appearances, which is crazy. First sort of chunk of the season, it was mainly Nemecha who was getting games for the first sort of quarter. And then obviously we realised how good Parrott is. And then he's bagged 21 in 33, which is an insane return. We'll see if we have any other players from our side in the top goal scorers. I don't think we do. We don't. But in assists, we have Powell, who has 16. What a season some of these Stoke players had. It's a shame they didn't go up and we beat them in the playoff final, but that's just the way it is. But there is George Dobson with 10 assists, which is absolutely great for him from the centre of midfield. We have Hadland in there as well, who has 6 assists to his name as a striker, which is very, very decent indeed. We don't have anyone else in there, which is quite surprising. But for clean sheets, we have Heaton from Aston Villa with 23 clean sheets, and Rose, the youngster who just come through this season. That's very, very good for him. Very, very good indeed. But now we will go to the squad hub and have a look at how much players have improved throughout the season. So we have Callum Rose, still only 17 years of age, has improved by 4 and rated 76. We have Ollie Lee, a 16-year-old keeper, gone up by 3, now rated 63. We have John McLaughlin, who has gone down a rating, now rated 70. We have Declan John, who has improved by 1, now rated 72. We have Denver Hume, who is now rated 70 as well, upgraded by 4. We have Elliot Harris, again another youngster, 17-year-old, who can play as a centre-back as well as a left-back. He's rated 70, improved by 5. Now we have Jordan Willis, who's gone up by 3, which is really good, now rated 70 as well. But that 70 for Jordan Willis really does not explain the whole situation, because Willis, with his pace and his strength, he is so much better than his rating suggests, and I absolutely love that about him. But then we have Ethan Pinnock, who's been one of our best performers all season long, despite his mistake in the playoff final. He has improved by 2, now rated 73. We have Jack Watmo as well, who has improved by 2, now rated 71. We have Sam Hughes, who's been a little bit disappointing. I really wanted to improve him that a little bit more, but he's really slow to train, unfortunately. I will discuss about transfers and what have you after we've gone through the rating, because there are a few players that I do want to get rid of, and then of course I will speak to you guys about the kind of players or the positions I want to try and fill for next season, so then you guys know the mould of players that I do want to bring in, and then that is of course what you can base your suggestions on later on in the episode. But Luke 9 has improved by 1 as well, now rated 70. Hoover has improved by 5, now rated 72. Max Power has gone up by 2, now rated 71. Samut has only gone up by 1, now rated 63. Aidan McGeady, 35 years of age, is still not retiring. He's gone down by 1, now rated 71. George Dobson has gone up by 3 after an excellent season for him, now rated 72. Elliot Embleton has gone up by 5, now rated 71. A cracking season for him. Bally Mumba has gone up by 9, an insane 9, and now rated 70. Ethan Robson has gone up by 3, now rated 64. Marcus Maddison remains 72. Lyndon Gooch has gone up by 1, now rated 71. Jamal Lowe remains on 71. Antonio Marin, the little wizard, our little magician, goes up by 5, now rated 76. One of the highest rated players, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I think he might actually be our highest rated player. Kempioka has gone up by 4, now rated 65. Troy Parrott, the man himself, now rated 72, gone up by 6, only 19 years of age as well, which is absolutely incredible. Hanlon has gone up by 3, now rated 72. He's an absolute rapid man, Hanlon. I love having Hanlon in the squad. And Lucas Nemecha, who actually had a relatively disappointing season. I thought he would be the sort of sole goal scorer for us in the Championship, but Troy Parrott, you know, put those boots on and did a lot better than Nemecha in all fairness. But he is rated 75 now, improved by 4. So we'll have a quick look at the sort of goals and assists from within our squad. So as you can see, across all competitions, 40 appearances, 25 goals for Troy Parrott, which is absolute insanity. And there is Nemecha, who played considerably less, or by 10 games less, than Parrott, but it was only Parrott's form that kept Nemecha out of the side. But he still managed to get 11 goals and 3 assists, which isn't too bad for Nemecha. Marcus Maddison got 10 goals and 9 assists, which is absolutely class. Max Power got 8 goals from the centre of midfield and 5 assists as well. Antonio Marin got 51 appearances. I think that's probably the highest appearances within the squad, which is absolutely mad. He got 8 goals and 6 assists as well. Aidan McGeady with 6 goals and 5 assists. Elliot Embleton was 6 and 6, 4 and 4 for Lowe. But that's class there from Dobson, who's usually quite a defensive-minded midfielder, getting himself 3 goals and 10 assists. He's been really, really important in the centre of that midfield. Gooch there, 3 and 3. 3 and 6 there for Hanlon. 2 and 3 for Declan John, which is pretty decent from left back. And there's the beast, Ethan Pinnock, with 1 and 1. And just a couple of goals here and there. 1 for Mumba and 1 for Watmo as well. But now in terms of what kind of players I want to go for and who I'm thinking about selling, we do have 3 goalkeepers. I don't really feel like that needs to change too much. I mean, we could maybe sell off McLaughlin for a bit of money, but he won't be worth much. He's only worth 1.1 million, so I don't really think it'd be worth it. And to have 3 goalkeepers, it's all right. We've got the up-and-coming Rose, we have the experienced McLaughlin, and we have Ollie Lee, who's coming up as well, so we don't really need to sort any goalkeepers out, I wouldn't think. We do have 3 left-backs, which is a little bit over the top. We have Declan John, who was a very good performer throughout the season in the Championship. We have Denver Hume, who's still on the 22, and he's just hit the 70 rating, so I don't really fancy getting getting rid of him. We have Harris, who's rated 17. He's 17 as well, so we have quite a lot of youth throughout the left-back position. And I like Harris because he can play as a centre-back as well. So for a left-back, it's down to you guys, really. Do you really think, should we get rid of one? For me, I just consider Elliot Harris as a up-and-coming centre-back as well, though, because of the coverage he can provide us. I mean, they're not exactly Premier League standard players. None of our players really are, but I quite like them all, really. But across the centre of defence, we have Willis, who's brilliant. Pinnock, brilliant. Watmo does the job. Sam Hughes, for me, I think it's probably time that he left. He just hasn't improved in the manner of which I would have liked. So just to get another big centre-back. And there is already one in mind that you guys have suggested, which would be a really obvious one if you have followed the series. But I do have a centre-back in mind if we are going to sell Sam Hughes and bring in another big centre-back. Now, right back, we have Luke O'Nien and Hoover. Hoover is only going to improve drastically. O'Nien, throughout the season in the Championship, he did take the first team position at right back, and Hoover did take a bit of a back role as the youth player, but he's improved and he's now rated better than O'Nien, and I will concentrate on getting his rating even higher next season in the Premier League. So I think at right back we are pretty well stocked as well. But in the centre of midfield, this is something we definitely need to improve. We have Max Power, who's definitely good at what he does, particularly as a Championship standard player. So Mutt, for me, is a player who's more than likely just not going to cut it, so I would sell him. McGeady, I just feel like, he's worth 1.2 million. Could we get a little bit of money off him? Probably. But 71 rated, 35 is probably only going to go down and down. I mean, it's up to you guys. We could either sell him or keep him just as a sort of rotation player, because he's still rated 71. He still has decent stats. So I wouldn't really be too fussed either way, to be honest with you. He's done his job for us in League One and in the Championship as well. Whether he could cut it in the Premier League is a completely different story, but we'll let you guys decide on that one. Dobson is only 23 years of age. He'll only improve, and he's had an excellent season, so I don't really want to see him leave. Elliot Embleton, another centre midfielder. I usually see him as a cam, but he's only going to improve as well because he's only 22 years of age. Mumba, I think he's going to be absolutely class for us next season at Mumba. We started to use him a bit more towards the back end of last season, and he was brilliant. He's really, really good to play with. So I'd like to see him remain, of course. Ethan Robson, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to cut it, and I think he should go on the transfer list as well. Maddison, I'd like to see him remain, but I would like to see another centre attacking midfielder come in over him. We have Lyndon Gooch and Jamal Lowe. Now, I do want to get another really good winger, so one of these two, for me, will probably have to leave. Lyndon Gooch is a player that I think is going to continually improve, whereas Jamal Lowe has done his job in the Championship for us. I know he's only been in it for a season, but could he cut it in the Premier League? That remains to be seen. I think another winger is definitely needed. On the left, we have Marin, who's only going to improve. But of course, if we did sell the likes of McGeady, then I would like to get maybe another youngster underneath Marin. I know Marin is already very young, but he's rated quite high for his age. So maybe another youngster who isn't rated quite as high as Marin, but to get him on the left if McGeady is to leave, if that makes sense. Kimpioka, there's just something about him, even though he is rated 65, I don't want to see him leave just to have him around. So I'd like to see him stay, really. Of course, Roy Parrott's going to stay, Hanlon's going to stay, and Nemetchia as well. I mean, I know we do normally play 4-2-3-1. We have started to use a 4-4-2 as well. So maybe one more striker, and then obviously someone's going to miss out quite a lot, but there will be a lot of rotation throughout the Premier League. So 4 strikers and 4 decent strikers at that wouldn't be too bad, I guess. But that is my kind of thoughts and just my sort of ramble about our squad right now. So really, I'd like a centre-back, definitely a centre-mid, a cam, a winger and a striker. So that's 5 players there, really, that are sort of necessities for next season, because we're not going to be able to cover the whole squad. We're more than likely going to be in a relegation battle next season. So that is everything covered. That is the season review done. We're going to go over to next season and see how much money we have to play with in our return to the Premier League. So here we go. We have hit the next season. We are now heading to the pre-season tournament invites, which of course we just simulate through all of them anyway. But we will go with the one with the most money, which is this one. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. How much money will we be given for the Premier League? I've got a feeling we're going to be really disappointed. I've got a feeling that it'll end up being like 27 million or something. Please be more than that. Please be more than that. 63 million. Sorted, guys. We're sorted. 63 million. That is absolutely class. So with the wages and stuff, we could have 55 plus million to spend. That's absolutely brilliant to try and build our first season in the Premier League. So now we know exactly how much money we do have to play with. You guys start letting me know what players you want me to go for. Of course, I did give you my thoughts about the players we already have, who we should sell, what kind of players we should go for. Of course, I've already given you my opinion on that, but of course, you have your say as well. So you might not agree with what I've just said about who we should sell and stuff like that. You let me know who you think we should sell and who you think we should buy as well. That's always a very, very important thing, particularly selling players as well, because we don't want a really overcrowded squad. But I do have a couple of players in mind that you guys have suggested already, but of course the more suggestions the better, because it just makes things a lot more interesting on the transfer window. But let's have a quick look to see who we're playing first game of the season. Oh my god, of course we are playing Newcastle the first game of the season. Are we playing at home or away? We're playing at St James's. What a way to return to the Premier League, and now I am truly shitting myself. So this should be really, really interesting. So the next episode, what we'll do, I'll leave it a few days, of course, before I do go into the next episode, because I want you guys to get enough time to get your suggestions in. And then the next episode, we will do the transfer market, we'll sign the players we want, and then we'll more than likely end the episode after playing Newcastle. So just the one game. But next season as well, what would you like me to do? Shall I play the way I kind of have done in the Championship with quite a lot of simulated games? Because what I kind of want, which I know I said is a relatively similar thing for the Championship, it'd be nice to have a sort of relegation battle in the Premier League. That's kind of what I want, or at least around there, to make it a bit realistic. So I think if we played a couple of games and then simulated another 2 or 3 every episode as well, I think we could find ourselves around the relegation zone. But of course, when it does come to the time where we have hopefully solidified our place in the Premier League, I'd play a lot more games, if that makes sense. But with all that being said, I know there's a lot of rambling going on in this episode. That's what happens with season reviews. But that is it. That's the end of the episode. If you have enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already, to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.